Well, we moved in to the flat about 7 years ago. It's a building converted out of a Victorian house. The flats were converted in 1972. It didn't look like much had been updated since then, maybe something in the 80s. At the back of the flat, the sort of area that we've made improvements in was all single glaze. Kitchen needed modernising, all the plumbing was up the duff. There was a lot of blown plaster. I wasn't in it for making money out of a home. I was in it for finding somewhere that I would make a home that I could feel happy living in for as long as I liked. When we took down the polystyrene ceiling tiles, the ceiling was just wrecked anyway. It was the old ceiling, so it was an old lath and plaster ceiling, and all of that came down. That was a hideous mess. We did all the preparation work and demolition, so we took all the plaster off, we ripped out the kitchen, we took up the floorboards, we cleaned out all the rubble from underneath. So a lot of the preparation work is what we did, and then the putting back, we got the right people to work with. We had brilliant couple of builders who were willing to learn, who were willing to try things out. I started to learn more about sustainable building and materials and things like that, and started really thinking about what we would do at this end of the flat to conserve energy, to save water, to make it more comfortable. And what was of particular importance to me was also, because I'm asthmatic in particular, but also in general, something I was learning about was off-gassing and things like that. So looking at the type of materials that we use to achieve better insulation and so on, with the bits and pieces that I'd managed to find out and what I was learning at the time, we were able to work together. There's a big learning curve with materials and knowing what to use. The internet is a really valuable tool for finding out information in terms of, there'll be other people who've done something before, there'll be information about materials, you'll find maybe a local supplier who'll want to talk to you. I found one supplier for a few materials, and in the end he was talking me through how you fix these things, the type of fixings that's needed. I think just thinking about the lifespan of things that are being made, the lifespan of things that will come out again. It's almost like, when people put in asbestos, you then have to deal with the aftermath of that. Wool underfloor, wood fibre insulation, solid wall insulation. Anyone can handle that. I mean, I was cutting the wool and putting it in with the guys, with the builders. So I just felt really comfortable about using those products. I felt really comfortable about having them in my environment, and it just felt really cleansing to know that what we were using had very little impact in its being made. It also would have very little impact in terms of being part of our environment in the home. The other thing about this end of the flat is that always it was colder than the other end. This is the north, the bathroom is north facing. This side with where the triple glazed windows are is northeast. I think the cost was maybe about another £300. So I thought, well, that's a bit of a no-brainer. Let's do that. We can't take off the plaster on the outside because at the time that's just not something that was feasible for the rest of the building. So we needed to insulate internally. Now, with the type of plaster that was on the walls, it's old plaster, very thick. So that bought us a lot of depth. We completely gutted the bathroom, which meant that, and took out that middle wall, which is not required anymore. That gave us some space. So we kind of had got space that we'd never had, and then we felt confident that we could take away some of that space to insulate and to soundproof and so on. This is 40mm thick solid wall insulation behind here. It's all along this wall, it's all along that wall, because they're the two external walls. So almost having that wall come in, we just really didn't notice because we created the space. The sound has, dramatically improved, but already just the warmth. I mean, we don't have proper radiators, we just have sort of towel radiators because We just have towel radiators because we're in a flat, and it's sort of in winter, if the heating's on anyway, we would be drying our clothes and things on that. We don't have a tumble dryer. So yeah, with minimal heating, so within the first winter, we knew that just this was working really well. There's the underfloor insulation in here, and the ceiling is the clayboard as well, which has sort of got that really good absorption properties and sort of slow release of water. It did mean that I think there was about a month where we have a lovely friend who lives a couple of streets away who let us stay with him whilst the toilet was out of action. And it was in winter. We sort of started towards, mid to late summer, taking things back, peeling everything out. We didn't really, timing-wise, we didn't really have the building work starting until the January. So yeah, there was a kind of bit of difficulty for that month. I think in sort of taking everything back and peeling it out, though, it was kind of like, I know what's here. What we did also was we put in water saving measures. We put in a water meter at the time that we had all the plumbing done. We pay a quarter of what we used to pay when we were rated. Upgrading our boiler so that it's solar ready, so that we're ready for the next stage when we've got the money, time and sort of energy to do it. But no, there's very I'm tremendously happy with the results. I'm tremendously happy to feel that what I'm doing is not only saving us money and sort of giving us a nice environment, but it's contributing to this massive issue that nobody really seems to have grasped, which is that we've all got to start thinking about our energy use, thinking about our water use, and conserving and reducing our impact on the environment in that way. And actually, it isn't that hard to do. Yes, you have to think it through, work with the right people, but it really isn't that hard to do. I think the whole process is sort of that learning process, understanding your home, understanding the materials, feeling happy with what you're doing, and ending up with something that you feel really comfortable with. Then on the sort of pragmatic, sort of saving money side, we know that it takes less to heat this area. We feel the difference, I felt the difference immediately, sound-wise and heat-wise.